Every single month, you need to track where you're at. You need to be tracking the number of leads you're getting. Pay attention to where those leads are coming from. How are you generating them? You should be tracking all of this stuff. You should have total clarity around where did my leads come from? Was it Google PPC? Was it YouTube? Was it Facebook? Was it door knocking? Was it open houses? Was it referrals? And then how do I do more of that? Hey guys, Jake Nicolle here. If you're watching today's video, this is a special one because a lot of the content we film here has been geared towards consumers, and this video is directed towards you, Mr. and Mrs. Agent. So I'm super stoked for us to sit down together and talk about something that is the foundation for you as a salesperson, which is knowing your numbers. So what I'm gonna walk you through today is the very first video we filmed like this. So this is a pretty special one because we're breaking the ice. I wanna show you guys exactly what it is you need to do in order to set up your numbers, to know how many appointments do you need to be generating, to do the amount of GCI you need. And out of those appointments, what's gonna be your closing ratio? And out of those appointments, well, how many leads do you need to be generating those appointments? I'm gonna break all of this down for you, even helping you understand if you're on a team, what that's gonna look like from a commission sharing perspective, to if you're a solo agent who's running your business and you're thinking about cost of goods sold, you're thinking about your operating expenses. I'm gonna walk you through all of this. Now, if you want this, reach out, send me an email, jake@jakenicolle.com, and I'd be happy to provide you some of these resources. We've also got resources like how we set up our team's 411 that we'll be breaking down in other videos. And if you want this stuff, leave me an email so that I know it's useful for you. Feel free to drop me a text, 289-216-6852. Be more than happy to hook you up with all these resources, which I've spent a lot of time thinking about. Now, the other thing as we jump in is I've borrowed these from resources like Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the red book, so to speak, the Bible of the Millionaire Real Estate Agent kind of philosophy and teaching from Keller. So some of this is borrowed from that in terms of the numbers, but I wanted to have it all in a spreadsheet, and I've got a whole bunch of breakdowns, so let's jump in. So here we're looking at my computer, and this is really simple. What we're talking about is right away this first column, what is your GCI goal? What's the number that you wanna hit? And really quickly, you're gonna realize once you punch this number in and we start messing around with your expenses of your cost of goods sold or your operating expenses or your profit based on a team model, we're gonna see the real true numbers. So you can see right away, if you're doing $100,000, let's say, of gross commission income, that's your GCI, that's all of your sales volume, okay? Every commission check that you get doesn't include splits, doesn't include anything else, just $100,000 right away. If you're on a team where you're getting 50% profit, just to use a simple, easy number, that's $50,000. It's pretty simple math. But here's the thing, you have other factors that are gonna come into play, whether there's some other splits or expenses that you need to factor in separate. I'm just gonna high level get you started on how do you hit your GCI goal. So let's put this number a little bit higher and say we wanna do something more like $100,000 that you wanna try and profit. Well, we know right away, math's pretty simple. You're gonna have to do about 200K, okay, in GCI in order to just have 50% left over. Here's where the numbers get more interesting though. What I've done is I've broken down this little category right here that shows you're gonna get to keep 2% of your sales volume on average. Depends what your average commission is, but let's say your average commission is 2%. To use a nice conservative number, it should be a whole lot higher, okay? But let's say it's 2%, then you need to sell $10 million worth of real estate in order for you to make 200,000 GCI where you get to keep 100. Now the question should be, well, how many houses is $10 million worth of real estate? I've broken that down for you as well. You can punch this into this little chart here to say what your average commission is. So here, I know that my average commission in 2022 was about $960,000, okay? So depending on where you are and which market you're in, whether you're in Alberta, BC, whether you're in Texas, doesn't matter. Punch in your average, know your numbers, because I know mine inside and out. So I've put this at 900 flat to give us a good idea of what our GCI is gonna be and how many houses we need to sell. So this is showing me that if I want to sell $10 million worth of houses at 2% commission, I need to do 11 deals at $900,000 in order for me to hit those numbers. And then here's what each of these categories breaks down, okay? This next category is showing you that you're gonna need 8 listings in order for you to do the 11 deals, because 70% of those seller listings might not sell, okay? And this is using the math from MREA, the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, or whatever the title of that book is, okay? From there, we're splitting it. We're saying, let's just pretend for a second, 50% of your deals are sellers, the other 50% are buyers. Out of those 50% of sellers, you're gonna need 8 listings in order to actually get the 5 to 6 closed that you need in order to hit that 11 number. And then for buyers, the number is actually a lot more generous. It's saying that out of all the buyers you have, you're gonna close about 90% of them. You're gonna help them buy a house. I would argue you could probably flip those numbers here in the GTA, where it's like, if you get a listing, you're gonna sell that thing. If you have a buyer, you're fighting oftentimes with that simmering market being more of a seller's market here in the GTA because of supply and demand. You're gonna be sitting more on the side of having a harder time with your buyers, multiple offers, you're competing, etc. Okay? So you could flip those, or for the sake of this, I've just left it because the numbers kind of even out. And this is showing that you're gonna have to have about 6 buyers that you're working with in the year in order to hit your target number, okay? So you should have 6 buyers, 8 listings in order for you to do 11 deals. Now, obviously, you know, 8 plus 6 is 14. That's the difference there of some of those deals that don't go through, all right, in order for you to hit 11. Now, the next category is awesome because it's breaking down how many seller appointments do you have to go on? How many listing appointments do you have to go on? How many listing presentations do you have to deliver in order to get those 8 listings? Well, the number is 20, okay? Because out of the 20 that you go on, 12 of them are gonna say no, on average. Hopefully your closing ratio is a whole lot higher. This is just you understanding the numbers conservatively to make sure that you actually hit those targets. Now on the buyer appointment side, it's more like 15 buyers that you're gonna have to sit down with and consult, walk them through a buyer presentation to get 6 BRAs signed, okay? So that means out of those 15, 9 of them are probably gonna go a different direction, all right? And you gotta be able to roll with the punches and close those deals. And then we break this down to say, okay, well, if you need to do 12 or 20 seller appointments over the span of the year, how many do you gotta do a month? Because that's a lot more digestible. And you can see here the answer is you need to do essentially 2 a month. It says 1.7, you can't do 0.7 of an appointment. So you need to aim for 2 a month, which is gonna be 24 a year, which would give you more appointments than you even need just with your sellers. And then on the buying side, you need to do 1.3 or 1.5. So 1 month, 2 the next month, 1, 2, etc. All right? And then we break this down further to say, this also means you have to be closing a deal every single month to hit 11 deals. You gotta do 1 every single month. You could get 1 month for free that you don't do a deal. You need to be generating 3 appointments a month. You need to be, most importantly, generating 28 leads a month or 7 leads a week or about a lead and a half a day. So that's the math. And once you understand this, this gives you total clarity around today, what do I need to do? Well, I need to generate a lead. And if I'm not generating a lead and a half today, is there a system I can create? Is there a different method that I can use, whether it's marketing or advertising or door knocking or phone calls? What's the thing that I'm gonna do today, or the thing that I'm gonna put in place so that if I don't do anything this week in terms of generating leads, but I know next week I'm gonna start to compensate because I'm putting systems in place. What am I gonna do to start to move toward the target? Our job as salespeople is to know these numbers inside and out. I can tell you right now, for the targets that we're aiming at, I have to get about 44 leads a month. And if I'm not generating those 44 leads a month, then I don't get the appointments that I need. And if I don't get the appointments that I need, then I don't get the listings or the buyers, and I don't do the deals, and I miss all of it. The goal is you can tweak these different numbers to test with stuff. So let's go back for a second. And instead of a $900,000 home, let's say the homes in the neighborhood that you're selling or the community or the area that you're selling are more like 500,000, okay? Now you need to do 20 deals, which means you gotta do 2 deals a month. So you essentially double it. What if it's more like 750? Now you gotta do 13 deals, which feels actually kind of similar. You're just squeaking out an extra 2 deals. This is the foundation for you as an agent to know your numbers. And then here's what you need to do. Every single month, you need to track where you're at. You need to be tracking the number of leads you're getting, tracking the number of seller and buyer appointments that you're going on. Pay attention to where those leads are coming from. How are you generating them? And at the end of the year, you should be tracking all of this stuff. You should have total clarity around, where did my leads come from? What helped me generate leads the best? Was it Google PPC? Was it YouTube? Was it Facebook? Was it door knocking? Was it open houses? Was it referrals? And then how do I do more of that? How do I stack on what's working? How do I support the things that maybe aren't working as well but are still providing some leads? How do you keep moving your business forward? So here's a quick deep dive for all you agents. Again, if you want to get this spreadsheet, or maybe you've got some other questions about joining a team, you've got questions for yourself as a solo agent, maybe you're a solo agent looking at this going, I don't have 50% split, but I do have something like 35% operating expenses. Now you see how that changes all of your numbers in terms of what your actual profit ends up being. Doesn't change the number of houses you're necessarily selling, but it'll change your profit and what you get to keep. And remember guys, we're ultimately in business to make a profit, not to just have a high gross income. You gotta actually net money, keep it afterward. So know your numbers, know that stuff inside and out. If you guys have questions, drop them below. Email me, jake@jakenicolle.com, or drop me a text, 289-216-6852, and I look forward to chatting with you guys soon.